Welcome back to another episode of the My Manager Career with the Wolves, and we've got an exciting kickoff for you. The Community Shield match against Man City. Can we potentially pick up silverware before we even start Season 2? That is the question. Then we've got three big matches coming your way from the Premier League after that one with Spurs, Leeds, and then we finish it off with Chelsea. Now, some big news has come through for the transfer window before the first match, so we're going to head over to Matt Hobbs to discuss it. We have had an offer come in from PSG, and that is for one of our new recruits, Hato. Only recently joined us in August, and the offer is for 31.4 mil. Now, one of the things when we started this career series was if top tier squad came knocking for one of our players, that there is a potential that Matt Hobbs and Jeff Shee will consider the deal, and it looks like Matt Hobbs is considering it, but for a total of 35 to 38 mil. From where I sit, I think his value is worth at least $40+ million, and that's where we should be going if we are to consider the Hato trade. And that's what we're going to suggest back to Matt Hobbs here, that we should really be looking at 40 mil. He is a key player. Obviously, his first season with this wasn't ideal, but to have him for only 31.4 million, we should be really pushing up in the 40 million mark, and Matt Hobbs does agree on this one. So we're going to counter offer with a $42 million max, and then anything under 38 million, we will decline. So we'll set that up for the PSG, see what potentially they come back with, but we're going to jump straight into the first match here, which is that Community Shield match, potentially silverware against a top quality squad that took out the Premier League last season. But of course, we had a bit of run of form, and hopefully we can continue that in Season 2. We've got Lemina, our captain, moving into that centre-back position to start the season. That's given Archie Gray the opportunity to start with Gomez in the centre defensive mid position. And of course, up front, we will be going with Larson, Gudez, and then the cam positions will be Glucker and Kuna. So Hato will be starting in this match, which could be his last for the Wolves, depending on what PSG comes back with. And then, of course, it will be Lemina, the captain, Gomez, and then Nori on the left-hand side. With Man City, they will be going with a 4-3-3. Grealish, Haaland, and Foden will be up the front three. Obviously, strike weapons across the whole front line that we've got to be wary of. But it's going to be kick-off here. Larson with the ball. Taps it out here to Hato. Trying to work the ball down here to Glucker. Working it back centre field here. We'll try to get past the defensive Doyle, but it's going to be a penalty. First attempt on attack here. Quick play the ball here to Hato. Tries to put it in the box, but puts a little bit too much spice on it. Kuna with the ball, and the shot goes wide. A good attempt first off there. An opportunity off the ricochet. 13 minutes in here. Lemina takes a long ball down here to Gudez. He's got Larson centre field here. Beautiful pass through centre field. Larson takes a shot and off the post. Are you kidding me? But he recovers here, tries to set himself, and he puts the icing on the cake with the second attempt. That could have been a heartbreaker with that first attempt hitting the left post. But Larson recovers, composes himself, and scores the first here in this matchup against Man City. Beats Doyle here, sets himself, and shoots it with power down the short side. Haaland with the ball here at the moment. Nice defensive play there by Gomez, but they hold on to it with Silva. But Nori comes up. Nice defensive play. Kuna with the ball. He breaks it down midfield here. He's got Larson. Gets the ball on the outside. Tries to beat the defender here. Shot opportunity, but it's going to be saved there by Edison. Second attempt also picked up by Edison. Ball out here to Doyle. Glucker pushing down, trying to put some pressure on. Nice play there by Glucker. Back into Kuna. Shot opportunity, but stolen there by the defensive line. Silva's got the ball. Takes it out here. Nice defensive play there by Gomez. Defense has been solid here. 34 minutes in. We've been able to hold Man City down half the field. Nice defensive play there by Gomez. Long ball through to Larson. He's got Gudez in a good position here. Beats a defender. Shot opportunity. And we've got 2-point buffer here against Man City just before the halftime break. Gudez with his second goal here in the pre-season. His form has continued from Season 1. And he's looking good up front there with Larson. Pushes off the defender here. Has enough pace to get in front of him. and Edison unable to get across. 38 minutes in here. Silva pushing it down here, the right-hand side. Nori pushing down, but the ball back in the middle. Gomez and Archie Gray trying to push up defensively. Foden with the ball, and he puts the ball through, pinpoint accuracy through to Grealish. And Hato and Lamina unable to get themselves in a defensive position on that one. But it was a beautiful pass there from Foden. Right winger passing to the left. Straight through the middle there. And Man City bounced back before the halftime break. So it's a 2-1 advantage at the moment here for the Wolves. But it is Man City, so we can't count them out just yet. 52 minutes in here. Long ball down here, the right-hand side. Grealish through to Silva. He's going to find Foden, down to Haaland. Back to Foden here. Gomez pushing up. He misses on that attempt. Chips across to Haaland here. Nori gets in front, but he doesn't put himself where it needs to be, and Haaland gets a shot opportunity down the short side. Little chip over the top here to Haaland once again. Gomez pushing up. Archie Gray's got the ball. Out to Gluka. He's got a bit of space here. Shot opportunity. But Edison gets a quick save on that one. 67 minutes in here. We still got that 1 point advantage. Doyle with the ball. Over the top. Hato hits it down to Foden. Doesn't clean up the ball well. Nori pushing down. Silva. Rodri. Out to Grealish. Back into Foden here. Rodri. Gomez pushing up. Little chip over the top here to Haaland. He taps it back down to De Bruyne. And he puts it in the top left pocket. Are you kidding me? 73 minutes in. All class there from Man City. Foden, Haaland. And the captain. Not the captain in this one. Coming off the bench for him. But he just puts an absolute beautiful shot in that top pocket. And Sarr unable to get across. Foden now has been absolutely dangerous, and he's here on the left-hand side. Gray pushing across. Nice defensive play, but he gives it up straight away. Haaland with the ball. Shot opportunity down the short. But Sarr with their hand to the ball. We're in extra time here. Gluka with a long ball down to Gudez here. Steps around Doyle. Into the middle shot, but blocked there by Ruben Diaz. There's going to be a corner opportunity here for us. Kuna with the ball. He was good on the set pieces last season. Can he send us home with a victory here? Look to put it in the box. Lamina underneath, but unfortunately couldn't get a clean header to it. Gluka tries to tap it down, and we're going to go into extra point shootout here. Unfortunately, all tied up here in the Community Shield match. And it's going to be a shootout here with Man City. Kuhn is going to take our first attempt. Gomez, Gudez, Lamina, Gluka, and then Larson. Kuna first shot. And we go right. Edison goes left. And we pick up the first here. Haaland with a big shot to the right-hand top pocket. And Sarr had absolutely no chance on that one. Gomez here, taking it right. Fortunately enough, Edison picks the right way, but we put it in the top pocket. Unfortunately there, Sarr goes left. De Bruyne goes right. And we're all tied up. Gudez here, taking it to the left-hand side. Edison stuck in mud. Good to win here now for Man City. He takes it left. Sarr goes left, but unfortunately over the top of the arms. The captain, Lamina, looking to put it in the right-hand side. Once again, fools Edison. And now it's keeper on keeper here. And Sarr gets the save. Our first save here in the penalty shootout. And it's all up to Oscar Gluka, the man that is becoming a legend here at the Wolves. And we take it right. Edison goes left. And we pick up the victory here in the Community Shield match against the reigning champs, Man City. And what a way to start the episode. And what a way to start momentum into Season 2 with a big victory here. Gluka, what a performance he has had since joining the Wolves. A fantastic Season 1 after joining us midway through. A great pre-season. This just icing on the cake for him. And of course, we're looking for a big season for him here in season 2 so we can extend his contract and cement his place here with the Wolves. We've obviously got the trophy lift here now. Lemina picking up another silverware as captain. But a good start here. Larson, Gudez obviously striking up front. But unfortunately, once you're versing Man City, they do know how to attack. And they picked us apart in those opportunities just before the break. And then obviously halfway through the second half. Unfortunately, we've got the FA glitch still here. Hopefully with the recent update, that does go away. So we are lifting the Premier League trophy. Hopefully that is signs for things to come here for the Wolves. But it's going to be a tall ask to get there first place when we're versing clubs like Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea and Spurs. Talking about Spurs, they will be the first club that we're up against here in the Premier League, and that is going to be the next match. But first, let's celebrate this victory here. The Community Shield match for season 25-26 goes to the Wolves. And looking at the stats here, it was for match performance. It was a 43-57 split. Man City was better on the ball with their passing, but Gudez with a 10 out of 10 performance. Larson with a very close 9.9, but a strong performance by both those strikers in this one. But obviously we had some big news before the match kicked off with Jarell Hato. We got PSG's offer that we need to discuss here with Matt Hobbs, and the offer has come in for $40 million, which is a bit disappointing from PSG. I'd hate to lose Jarell Hato after just 6 months of football, but ultimately it's up to Matt Hobbs, so we'll see what he wants. And he has come back with, ultimately, if they can give us $42.5 million, he wants to send him on his way and then look for a replacement, being that we've doubled the money that we spent on him just only 6 months ago. That's a tough decision to swallow, being that I'd rather keep him, being he's still so young. But ultimately, it is up to Matt Hobbs. That was the decision we made with this career series. So we're going to have to go back to PSG here and counter it at 42.5 mil. If they accept that, then it is clear for them to potentially sign Hato. So we'll go into negotiations now with the club, PSG. They obviously got a boatload of money. It's definitely something they can afford. So we'll go with that $42.5 million, and they don't even question it. We pick up that extra $2.5 million, but it's always disappointing to lose a player so young, so much potential. But unfortunately, the sporting director made his decision. If it was $42.5 million, he was going to accept it. And we lose Hato, unfortunately, after only having 6 months of football here with the Wolves. So he's off to PSG, he's off to Champions League football as well. And I'm sure we'll run into him soon when we potentially get our squad into the Champions League. It was a A performance there on the deal. They'll look at max $44 million. But before we head over to Matt Hobbs to discuss replacements, we need to talk about what potential budget we get in the transfer window with the sales that have recently occurred. We've got 42.5 for Hato, Mascara at 7.8, Hover 5.3. So hopefully Jeff Shee gives us the full amount for this transfer window, but unfortunately he's come back and absolutely sliced it apart, dropping the Hato deal down to only 30 million going into the kitty. With Mascara, we're only getting 5 million out of the 7.8, and Hover, we're only getting 3 million out of the 5.3, which is the total of 38 million, which is a devastating blow for us. I would have loved to get a little bit more going into this transfer window. Almost 30%, I believe that is, of the Hato deal now being absorbed and taken away by Jeff Shee. So disappointing, which we're going to express that to him here. But we also got that 3.9 million from the prize money from the preseason. So hopefully he's happy to put that into the kitty, and that could be a little bit of buffer. But again, he's harsh on that one. He only gives us 2 million out of the 3.9, and the other 1.9 will be reserved for club upgrades, so bonuses, infrastructure, or emergency uses. We'll obviously update him on the Larson deal. We signed him for 43 million, so that means the 21.5 million will be allocated somewhere else. And obviously Jeff Shee did agree to that prior to the deal happening. And then 21.5 will come out of our transfer budget as well. So we're going to have to head over now to Matt Hobbs to discuss our options that we've got in the transfer window. And of course, where our budget lies now with the recent transfers out of Hato, Mascara, and Hova. 38 million on top of what we already had is a decent kitty. Would have loved a little bit more to potentially get a couple of signings into the squad, being that we've got so many different tournaments this season with the Europa League, Carabao Cup, and FA Cup, and of course the Premier League season as well. So all up, we've got $40 million added to the transfer kitty, ready to go for this transfer window. Devastating that we lost Hato to PSG, but we can't cry over spilt milk. We've got to look forward here. And some of the options that Matt Hobbs has come back with is we look for a replacement that can play a bit of left-back hybrid role with the centre-back position. We look to potentially add someone who's an experienced player in, or we look to someone youthful like Hato, or we could potentially go to the youth academy with Koshi and Frederick, who have recently moved up to the senior squad. So that could be an option, but I think we stick with the transfer window. Those two players need at least another 12 months of development before they're going to get into the first team squad. But we've got these 5 players that we could potentially look at in the fullback position. And then, of course, we've got the centre midfielder in Fernandez as well that we potentially could look at. He's recently, obviously, with Southampton, who have now been relegated down to the Championship League. So it could be a potential that we pick him up and move him back into the Premier League worth of football. Then we've got Sildilia here. That's been one of your referrals from the community. A potential right back, centre back. So that hybrid that we're looking at, he's only 8.5 million. So could be an option. We've got Arthur as well. He is a right back, play right mid as well. And he was one of your referrals as well. We've got Doherty here, plays for Luton Town. Obviously recently relegated the season prior. With them, he is a potential one for the left-back position. We've got Nkunku as well. That could be an option. He's 75 overall, plays a left-back, 8.5 million. A real potential, obviously 75 overall at the moment, and a decent market value there for us as well to work with. And then last but not least, we've got Ben Chilwell, who plays for Chelsea at the moment. He's got a decent wage, but his market value at the moment is 17 million, which I think we could potentially get less than that, as he's currently not in this starting lineup for them. So that is a potential for us to look to pick him up and move him into our starting lineup. Talking to Matt Hobbs, obviously Fernandez could be an option. I'd love to potentially pick him up, and then Kuna could potentially move into that striker position, or it adds a bit of depth as well for us in that cam role. And then looking at the fullbacks, Doherty or Chilwell is going to be that experience, immediate impact. And then we could potentially look at Arthur and Sedilia as a potential long-term potential players as well. So a few things to consider. We, of course, are going to look at our first contracts, which is going to be those immediate impacts. So we got Alfie, Doherty first. Now, if we can't work out a contract with Luton Town for that transfer deal, then we'll look at Chilwell after that with Chelsea. So first, we'll ask Matt Hobbs what kind of contract can we offer and what is our transfer guidelines when we do have that conversation with Luton Town. What we're looking at is an initial offer of 18 million with a max of 22 million. And then we're looking at a 60k a week wage, 500k signing bonus, and then 250k for performance bonuses as well. So that will be the first offer that will go in with that one, and we'll see if we potentially get him over the line. Now, if we can't do that, then we need to discuss Chilwell. So we'll talk about the contract and obviously the transfer offer to Chelsea if it doesn't work out with Doherty. But Doherty will be our first priority here in the transfer window. Looking at the contract there, potentially we'll start with 13 to 14 million. Obviously, 17 million is his max at his market value at the moment. With his contract, we'll match roughly what he's got at the moment with 115k. And then signing bonus will be 1.5 million. Obviously, performance deals as well we'll look to put in there, and we'll look to sign him for 4 years. So he'll likely will have performance-based incentives there where it's on appearances, being that we want to make sure that he is playing maximum gains for us throughout the season. So as mentioned, Alfie Doherty is the first one on our board, where he's 79 overall at the moment, 25 years of age, and we'll look to potentially offer him 17.5 million. The offer goes in here, and they've come back for our captain Lamina plus 13.4 million. So the value there is roughly 29 million, which we're absolutely not going to be paying that top dollar there. We will counter it with 19.5 and see if we can kind of negotiate from there. And they've absolutely flat out refused it and walking out the door. So Doherty's off the board, and we're going to now move over to Chilwell here with Chelsea. Obviously, market value at the moment, 17 million. We can obviously offer a lot less than that, hopefully, being that he's not in the first squad. We'll start with it at 14 million, see if we can get him for that. They've come back with 16.4, but tension's about halfway. I think we go up to 15 million and see if we can get him over the line at that one. So save about 2 million on his market value. And Chelsea agree on that one, which is a fantastic news for us, being that we get Chilwell potentially here, which is going to add experience on the right-hand side and hopefully boost that defensive line where we've had some lapses in judgment. But first, we need to get this contract sorted, so we need to get this one over the line. Looking at the squad, we're going to go important, see if he's happy to just take that, which is a good sign, so we can do a bit of rotation there. Would love to get him for 4 years, as agreed with Matt Hobbs. That will round him out to 32 years of age before that contract runs out. And then looking at the salary, we've got that 115k. We've got that 1.5k signing bonus as well that we'll look to add as well to this package. And of course, what we're talking about was the incentives around appearances. Ultimately, if he performs and appears in most of the matches throughout the season, we'll give him an additional bonus to round out the contract from there. So hopefully he agrees to this one. We can get it over the line. With the appearances, it's going to be 20, and then we'll look at potentially about $500,000 additional. And hopefully he is now going to be heading across to the Wolves here in the transfer window, which is great signs here. Our second signing of this season, Ben Chilwell, will be joining us after the departure of Hato. He is going to be an experienced player on the right-hand side. And of course, we've got Nori on the left-hand side. So adding 2 world-class players. Now, we do have handy backups with Lima and Hugo Bueno as well, but we potentially will now look to bring in one of those other right backs with Sedilia and Arthur. They're the 2 options that we could look to bring in here, being that he only cost us 15 million all up, which I think is an absolute bargain for the experience that we're getting there. So Chilwell will be heading across to the Wolves on a $15 million transfer. And overall, I think that's a fantastic deal for us. Still leaving money in the kitty for Fernandes and then potentially Sedilia or Arthur after that one. So we'll now look to potentially upgrade the front line here with Fernandes. That is the player that I've spotted in the Southampton squad that we could look to bring in, being that they've recently been relegated. He's 21 years of age. His market value is 25.5. Now, being that they've just recently dropped down to the Championship League, there could be an opportunity that we get him for 22 or 23 million. So it would be an absolute steal if we can. But that's good in theory. We now need to try and convince Southampton that it's a good deal. So we'll have that conversation now with the Southampton manager and see if we can get it over the line at that bargain price. He's already quality stats at 77 overall, 21 years of age. And, market value of 25 million is not that much. So we'll go in with that 23 first. We'll see if we can get that over the line. And then we'll see if we can negotiate from there. But they absolute flat out refused it. Do not even counter offer our first attempt. And we're going to have to go back to the drawing board on that one. So we'll let Matt Hobbs know that they rejected the offer and left, which is not ideal. He's looking that we could potentially match the market value on our next attempt at 25.5 million. But at this stage, I think we move our attention across to the back line with Arthur and Sedilia, being that we did get Chilwell in at a bargain and potentially we can look to boost that back line once again. Obviously, with the departure of Hover and Hato, both in the back line, we'll look to potentially replace 2 backline players here. And we've got Arthur, who is young, cheap option at 5.5 million. Got plenty of potential there with development options. And then we've got Sedilia as well, a bit more established at 8.5. And he can also play that centre-back position as well. So very much a hybrid and can cover across the full line. I think with Sedilia is a good option, and Matt Hobbs tends to agree. Obviously, 8.5 million is on the cheap side for a handy player like Sedelia. And I think with his youth as well, he's got plenty of upside. His contract at the moment is only $23K, so we'll look to potentially start it off at $7 million for the transfer fee. And if we do get that, we'll potentially look at a salary between 40 to 43K, a signing bonus of 300K to 400K, and we'll put in a performance clause as well for 400K if he does appear in 15 matches. Being that he'll be versatile and a bit of a hybrid across that back line, that should be easily achievable for him. But before we discuss contracts, we first need to try and get this transfer fee across the line. We're going to start with $7 million. It's 1.5 below his market value, but that will be our starting price, and we can see if we can get him over the line. I think if we can get him for $7 million, that would be an absolute steal for us. Very versatile across the back line, and they do agree to that one, which I think is an absolute steal for us. A very versatile player, as I mentioned. He can play the centre back, he can play the right back. We need to get this contract sorted though. We're going to try rotation, but he wants important, which I think we can work that out. 5-year deal, he's happy with that one, and now we need to negotiate this contract. So we'll go with that 40K first up. Signing bonus, we'll go with only the 300K, so the lower part of the offer that Matt Hobbs agreed to. And with the appearances, we'll go 200K, but he's come back straight away with wanting 400K, 41K with the wage, and 640K for 15 appearances. Once again, tension is rising. He doesn't really want to move away from that 41K wage at the moment. For appearances, he wants a bit over $500,000, which we're definitely not going to agree to. We will go back here. Ultimately, if we don't make a call on this one, we could lose him, and I think we just agree to it. So 41K salary, 400K signing bonus, and 240K if he does appear 10 times throughout the season. So he will be our third signing, a very versatile player across that back line, and could be a breakout player for us this season, being that he will get that opportunity across the back line in the centre-back position and right-back position, replacing Chilwell in those cup matches. Ultimately, his versatility is the reason why he'll be in the reserves of the starting lineup, being that he can cover that centre-back and right-back position. But the first match of our season here in Season 2 will be against Spurs. We, of course, had the Community Shield match against Man City where we picked up that trophy, but now we've got to perform here in the season opener in front of the home fans, and it's none other than one of the tough opponents here in the Premier League, a club that got in the top 4 last season, and that is Tottenham Hotspurs. Of course, we've got a good lineup ourselves with Chilwell now starting on the right back position, and then the back line will have Lamina the captain, Gomez and Nori on the left back side, and then in the centre defensive mid we will be going Archie Gray and Gomez. Then we move down to the cam positions with Kuna and Gluka. And then up front will be Gudez and the man, the 6'4" giant, Larson, steering the ship up front in the number 9 jersey. A very strong lineup with some incredible reserves as well, with Hichan and Sylvia on the bench for us. And then when we're looking at the back line, we've got Woe and then Sedelia as well, looking to potentially get some game time here in the first match of the season. But Tottenham Hotspurs will be going with a 4-3-3, and the man between the posts will be Vaccaro. Their backline is looking strong. It's interesting to see that Maddison will be on the bench for them, but they've got Son up front, the captain, playing that striker position for them today. So we're going to be in for a big performance here if we can pick up the 3 points here in the season opener. And it looks like we've got good conditions as well. Chilwell with the ball, trying to take it down the right-hand side. Defence all over him at the moment. Gets it through to Gluka. He's dancing down the right-hand side. Does beat the first defender. Brings it across into the corner. Looks to find the big man inside. Gudez goes underneath. It looks like he's picked up an injury though. Hopefully nothing too serious. But he is very slow to get up. So we will monitor that and see if we need to make a substitution. 13 minutes in here, Spurs with the ball, a little chip over the top. Nori's going to have to get back here, try to get in front of the ball. He's been beaten on the outside, does recover though. Ball back in. Oh, and he just beats him on that one. Gomez is going to have to slide across. Saar with the save. Second save there. But unfortunately, third attempt, no dice. Son is in position for that easy header, and Spurs score first here. Not an ideal situation. Sarr saving 2 attempts on that one. Gomez really not getting himself in position. And Lamina, Nori just really not covering Son on that one. 20 minutes in, Spurs are up 1-0. Chilwell with the ball. Long ball through to Goodez, who's still hanging on to that injury, so we're potentially going to have to switch him out. And it's not looking good for him to continue with an injury cloud. Larson, unfortunately, unable to get underneath that header. And we will do that switch out here for Goodez, and Hee-Chan will come on, starting up front in the striker position. He obviously had a stellar pre-season, looking very strong in that performance, scoring 2 goals. So hopefully he can continue with a bit of momentum here. Gomez down to Kuna. Steps back on the inside here. He's got Glucker with him. Nice ball through to Glucker. He's got a bit of space. And there we go. Like the pre-season, he kicks off the season with the opener for the Wolves, scoring the first. And a nice little combination with the fellow Cam in Kuna, combining centre field. Nice little ball through. It did ricochet off a foot, but Glucker's able to recover on that one. Runs a nice line, beats the defence, and slices it past the keeper in Vaccaro. Long ball through to Son here. Gomez sliding across. He miscues on that one. Solomon with the ball, but Lamina comes up well in defence. And Chilwell on the attack here. Gets the ball out to Glucker. He's going to settle it back here to Archie Gray. He's going to find Glucker once again. He's got Hee-Chan with him. Nice pass through to him, but defensive front. But he steps back on the inside, takes a shot. And Vaccaro, unfortunately, gets a hand to that one. We're going to go into the break here, all tied up. So it's going to be a big second half here for us if we're going to pull off this victory and get these 3 points. Kick off here for the Spurs. Ball back here, centre field. Hee-Chan trying to slide across, couldn't get in front. Gomez pushing down. Gomez is going to have to slide across. Sarr with the ball. Lamina pushing up on Solomon at the moment. He dances past him. Son with the ball. And Sarr with the nice save. 49 minutes in. It's been all defence here so far with 65 minutes in. Chilwell, once again, defensively getting in front of that one. Gomez with the long ball, but it looks to be Larson offside. A real opportunity there, 68 minutes in. But we're now 81 minutes in here. Gomez with the ball, and he just absolutely shanks that pass through to Archie Gray. Lamina misses. Son hits a line. And they pick up the second here with the defence not being able to recover. It was a poor pass there from Gomez. He's trying to find Archie Gray. And he just kicks it straight into the defender's legs. You got to clear that ball out better than that, or they'll make you pay, Spurs. Lamina comes up, tries to put some pressure on. Gomez doesn't slide across for Son. And he puts it in the short side. Defence pushes down there. Chilwell. He's played a phenomenal match, Chilwell, in this one. Glucker with the ball. Defence pushing around him. He's got 4 defenders. Hee-Chan unable to recover on that one. And we're going into extra time here. After the 90th minute, cleared across here to Maddison. He taps it down. Ball through here to Son. Lamina pushes across. And it's not looking good here. In the final minutes of the match, our captain, Lamina, has got a red card. So he's going to miss the next match. Not how you want to start the season there. Unfortunately, just dug his hip into Son there and knocks him over. It looks to be all over here. Very unlikely that we're going to get a counter-attack opportunity. Son with the shot, Sarr with the save. And unfortunately, our first match here in the season. It's not a good one. We fall to Spurs 2-1. Obviously a top squad, and it's always going to be a challenge. But it was really our mistake that cost us. It was a 48-52 split on possession, and Glucker was our man of the match with a 9.1. But ultimately, that pass from Gomez straight into the defensive legs cost us on that one. And talk about cost us good as he's got 3 months out with a broken toe. Not what you want the first match of the season. But we move on to the second here against Leeds. We'll look to hopefully bounce back here away from home. Obviously, we've got Lamina out for suspension, so we'll need to make some changes there. I believe we're going to look to bring in Severity here in the centre-back position, so he'll be debuting here today for the Wolves. And then obviously up front, we'll look to potentially put in Silva, give him an opportunity. Obviously returned this season from loan. He's young, he's got plenty of potential. And obviously we've got Chan as well that will look to give game time across this 3 months, being that he's played phenomenally well since, pre-season kicking off. Leeds will be going with a 4-2-3-1. They've got a strong squad there, obviously being promoted last season from the Championship League. And this will be our lineup with the 4-2-2-2. We've got Chilwell on the right back position. Sedelia, as mentioned, will be playing centre back with Gomez and then Nori. And then that centre defensive mid will be Gomez, Gray, Glucker and Kuna playing the cam position, and Fabio Silva starting here today in the striker position with Larson. Kick off here for Leeds. Lawrence with the ball. And they're going to bring it centre field. Ultimately, I'm still undecided what to do here in that centre-back position. Unfortunately, Chilwell loses it to Greenwood there. Gray slides across. Gomez pushes up as well. Nice defensive pressure, and Sedelia pushes it out here. Gomez down to Kuna. He's got Larson running a nice line here. He steps back. Great line by Larson. Beats the defender. Takes a shot. And that's what you want to see from your striker 7 minutes in. First opportunity. First points here for Larson. Great movement down the left-hand side. Kuna finds his striker. Steps back on the defender. Pushes it centre field. Uses his pace and strength outside the box and puts it enough power down the right-hand side. But as mentioned, I think potentially we've got our wing-backs covered with Chilwell having a great debut here for the Wolves. Obviously 3 matches in now. And then we've got Lima and Hugo Bueno as well as backups left and right back. And then we've got Sedelia as well, who can play centre-back as well as right-back position. That was a poor pass there from Glucker. But it's really the centre-backs that I'm concerned about. That was a nice defensive play there from Chilwell. Again, Glucker loses the ball. And Leeds are on a bit of a break here. Swings it back here to Lawrence. Long ball across. Greenwood with it. And Chilwell sliding across again. Nice defensive play there by him. But ultimately, it's just we've got to figure out what we're doing here with centre-back. Gomez, we've got Lamina. Obviously, has moved in the back line to try and bring a little bit of stability. We've got Bueno on the bench that can play centre-back. We've got Woe as well. Mascara's moved across to Leicester City, so we don't have him anymore. But it's probably the area of the squad that I think we need an improvement. We're going to go into the break here with that 1 point advantage at the moment. But it's definitely something I think over the first half of this season, if we don't see an improvement, then we need to look to potentially bring in someone who can just really cement that back line for us. Someone who's, very versatile, strong, and has plenty of upside. So that is ultimately our decision-making possibility. But Larson with the shot there. Nice ball movement there by Silva. And we've got a corner attempt here for Kuna. Can he put it inside the box? Sedelia underneath it, but unfortunately over the top, and Darlow picks it nice and easy for the keeper of Leeds. He's looking to potentially clear it out here down the right-hand side. Chilwell gets underneath it. Nice play there by the experienced veteran. Glucker over to Gomez. He finds Kuna here. He's got a bit of space here for Nori. Beautiful pass through. And that's how you want to seal the second goal. A nice ball movement from right to left. And Nori getting involved this season, scoring goals in that wing-back position. Kuna settling it. Defence pushed on him. About 3 defenders, it looks like. And then he just steps back and dabs it through for Nori, running a beautiful line from the wing-back position. We're up by 2. A good little advantage here in the second half. Gomez sliding across here. Nori's going to have to push down as well. Nice defensive pressure there by Nori. Gray's going to have to slide across. Tries to push on him on that one, but doesn't do well. Sedelia trying to get in front. But Sarr coming up strong there with his hands, keeping the ball out. And we clear it out here, 62 minutes in. Again, Gray pushing across, but Gomez puts some pressure on defensively. He gets a foot in there, which is good. Nori with the ball. Down to Chilwell. He's had a strong performance once again in the right back position. Down to Glucker. He brings it back to Silva. Settling it at the moment. He can play a bit of a false nine for us when needed. Glucker back to Gomez. He's going to try and settle it back again. Archie Gray, good movement at the moment, just waiting for a space to open. That's a long ball through to Kuno. Bit risky, but we get it out to Nori here with a bit of space. He's going to chip it into Larson, but unfortunately just too much spice on it. But we recover it here. Nori with the ball. He's settling it again inside the corner. He's going to look to put it in the box here. He's got Silva underneath, but once again, unable. Kuna comes up nice there. Takes a shot. And there's your third 1 minute before the break. It's not a break. It's 6 seconds before full time. And we've got a 3-point advantage here. Looking to potentially keep a clean sheet. But Kuna settles it on his chest here. Outside the box. 20 metres out. And puts enough power on it. Straight past the keeper. And that's our third. We've strike back. Looking to pick up these 3 points here. In the second match here of the Premier League. Gray pushing down here. Harrison with it at the moment. Chilwell's going to have to slide across. Lawrence with the ball. And once again, Chilwell comes up strong in defence. And we clear the ball out. And that's going to be the full-time hooter. We do pick up the 3 points here. A strong bounce-back match from that first match defeat. And we head into the fourth match of this episode. The third match of the Premier League. With a return back to his former club, Chelsea. It'll be Chilwell up against his former teammates. Kuna with a 10 out of 10 performance, and then Chilwell is our second best player. He had a phenomenal match in defence. Now looking at Chilwell, obviously is a left back by default, but we are looking to make him our right back position. So we've switched him across to right back, and we'll continue to work on his development in the wing back position. So working on his standing defence, interception, header accuracy, and then his long passing and crossing. But talking about Chelsea, they're currently in 7th position. They've got a win, a draw, and a win. And obviously, if we can get a win here, we could potentially move up the ladder, looking to finish, hopefully, in the top 6 by the end of this episode. As mentioned, Chilwell against his former club here. We've only just signed him in August. So he'll look to put in a big performance here against his former teammates in front of his new home fans. Looking at the starting lineup as well, Sedelia had a great match against Leeds, but he's going to move back to the bench with Lemina, the captain, coming back into the starting lineup. Silva had a good performance up front with Larson, so we're going to give him another opportunity here against Chelsea to start in that striker position. Then we've got Glucker, Kuna playing the cam, and then the centre defensive mids will be Gomez and Gray. So we're back to our main core of a lineup. Obviously, with Gudez out, Silva's stepped in, but it was a good performance by Hichan and Sedelia coming in that Leeds match. Looking at Chelsea, they will be going with a 4-2-3-1. So they'll have a strong defensive line. You've got obviously Cole Palmer, Pedro Neto, who's up against his former teammates, obviously departing last season across to Chelsea. And then you've got Sterling out on the other wing as well, returning back from loan to Arsenal. Kuna with the ball here at the moment, trying to break it down the left-hand side. He's got Nori with him. It wasn't the best pass there from Kuna, so we're going to settle it back here to Gomez. Long ball through to Glucker. He's got a bit of space here, Glucker. Tries to dance around. He gets the ball to Larson. Oh, what an angle there from Larson, and we pick up the first 5 minutes in. Glucker taking it strong into the box. Defence slides in. The ball goes over the top, but Larson picks up the scraps. Beats the defender. Absolutely hooks it on a 90-degree angle. And 6 minutes in, we've got that 1 point advantage here against Chelsea. Gomez going to have to slide across here. Neto is absolutely electric, so you cannot give him space or he will break you down. Gomez pushing across as well. Nori comes up defensively. He does a long ball through to captain. Gomez with it. That's a long ball down to Glucker here. A few risky passes, but sometimes you've got to do that against a strong squad. Through to Larson. Beats the defender, being tripped over there though. Gilchrist. right, I think it's just outside the box. It wasn't the best play there. Gilchrist could have potentially recovered, but he just puts the hip into Larson. And the big man goes down just outside the box. So a goal scoring opportunity for us, but Chelsea will be down a man for the rest of the match, 13 minutes in. Not an ideal situation for them. And from last season, Kuna has been strong on the penalty. We're 19 metres out, so he scored one in the last match, 20 out. So you definitely got the distance. Unfortunately, puts too much power on that one over the top bar. And unfortunately, we're still only with a 1 point advantage. Gray pushing down on Palmer at the moment. Gomez with a long ball through the Kuna. He gets the ball through to Larson. Tries to get on the outside of the defender. That was a good move by Tossin. Larson settling it back here to Nori. Through to Glucker. Centre field. Down to Gray. Shot opportunity. Unfortunately, the keeper gets a hand to that one, 28 minutes in. And we're going to go into the break now with that 1 point advantage. Chelsea has stood up in defence after losing a man. And we've had very limited opportunity in the first half. But it is a 90-minute match. There's plenty that can happen here in the second. Palmer with the ball at the moment, breaking down defenders. Nice defensive play there by Gomez, just shuts it down. And then we've got the ball through to Larson here. He settles it. Beautiful pass through to Silva. And he picks up for the first for his season. Fabio Silva running a beautiful line straight down the middle. And the big man puts it on an absolute dime for him. There's a great pass in front of him. Not too hard, so the keeper comes out. He just puts it where only he can reach it. And Fabio Silva picks up his first. Nori sliding across here, 6 minutes in. Chip across here. Chilwell breaks it down. Jackson was on top of it. It's a long ball through to Glucker. He's going to try and find Kuna. He probably should have tried to find Gomez instead. Chipped over the top here. Cole Palmer dancing. Nori trying to get in front. Misses. Gomez is out of position. Same with Lamina. And 72 minutes in. Chelsea score their first. Cole Palmer dancing past defenders. Breaking ankles. Nori misses. Gomez out of position. And Jackson was just an open man ready to score. And we're now 75 minutes in here. Jackson with the ball. Gomez pushes down once again. Misses on the first. Chilwell comes up strong with Lamina, but Jackson recovers and gets the ball out here to Sterling. Lamina sliding across. Chips it into the box. Gomez gets underneath it. And it looks like he's picked up an injury. Not what we want. 84 minutes in here. Chilwell's going to have to slide across. Sterling with the ball. Absolutely breaks his ankle on that one. But Chilwell gets in front of the pass. And he gets the ball out here to Gomez, who gets it down to Glucker. He's going to try and settle it down here to Kuna. He's got a long ball through to Larson. He's got a bit of space here. Tries to get around the defender. And Tolson once again strong in defence for Chelsea. Chilwell looking to put it inside the box, but it wasn't the best cross into the box there. But it should be enough for us to pick up the victory, and it is. So we get a 2-1 victory here in front of the home fans against Chelsea. Obviously, they were a man down from the 13th minute. But it was a strong performance by us in that one. 43-57 split on possession. And our best player, Larson, with Silva, Gomez, and the other Gomez as well, performing well. Man City tied against Leicester City. That's a big one. But the good news is Gomez has only got a bruised shoulder, so he's only out for 5 days. We're going to be in the final day of the transfer window, so we've got 10 hours left. Of course, in this episode, we had the 4 matches. We had the big win against Man City and then the loss against Spurs, but we recovered against Leeds and then finished it off with Chelsea. But the next episode, we got 5 big matches coming your way with a Europa League match as well as a cup match with the Carabao Cup. So plenty of different tournaments coming your way in the next episode. But the big news here, before we break it off, Nori, a deal has came in for Spurs. So we need to have that discussion with Matt Hobbs about potentially what do we do there. The same with Woe. But once again, appreciate all the support. Thanks for watching. Make sure you do hit that like button as it does help the channel grow. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have missed any of the episodes so far, in the middle of the screen will be the playlist for you to enjoy. Once again, thanks for watching. Appreciate all the support and I'll catch you on the next one.